Hey, Dr. Joe, a physician from Atlanta. Welcome to Your Wellness for Life. Hope you're having a great Sunday. It's where we discuss all 9 pillars of wellness, which is the state of being. And health, good health, is just one of those pillars. Health is a state of body. And behind me, you see all 9 pillars: spiritual, emotional, love all, financial, physical, occupational, intellectual, social, and environmental. And you also see a mnemonic back there, self-poise, to kind of wrap that all together. So the first letter of self-poise represents each one of those 9 pillars. And poise is the graceful, dignified, self-confident, and elegant bearing in a person. All right. So when I was getting ready for this little talk, this little Facebook Live, I thought this was going to be kind of an easy one. And we're going to talk about positive and negative emotions. No to Negativity by Cultivating Your Positive Emotions. And boy, when I got into this got a little bit more difficult and deeper. I'm not a psychiatrist, but as a obstetrician gynecologist, I deal with a lot of depression and anxiety in my patients, and I've dispensed lots of medications for them to try to make them feel better. Anyway, I was going on my walk this morning, and as I try to multitask, walking or driving in a car and listening to something or talking on the phone is truly multitasking, one of the few. Anyway, I was listening to the audio explanation of a book that was written, many years ago, called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Most people that are entrepreneurs are familiar with this book. And Ray Higdon, who's a very successful network marketer, who's now a coach, a success coach, not just for network marketing, but for almost any business, including he's been hired by many businesses to help them market better. He's an expert at marketing. But anyway, he took the book Think and Grow Rich, and he came out with his version of it, Vibrational Money Immersion, which is a Think and Grow Rich for network marketers. So Think and Grow Rich, Vibrational Money Immersion by Ray Higdon. Anyway, he goes chapter by chapter and takes the corresponding chapter in Think and Grow Rich, and then discusses it. Anyway, I'm my second way through his book and the Think and Grow Rich, and I was listening to several chapters this morning, and chapter 12 kind of struck me. And chapter 12 is the subconscious mind. And in there, they discuss positive emotions and negative emotions. And, we're humans, so we're going to have negative emotions. And of course, we'd love to just have positive emotion. We'd love to be filled with joy and gratitude, pride, serenity, which is another a term for being content, being interested or curious, amusement, having a sense of humor, being hopeful, inspirational, in awe and love. So those are positive emotions. Nobody wants to feel anger or anxiety or frustration. But you know what? Negative emotions are really just a fact of life. We're going to have negative emotions. And things like anger and anxiety are really negative emotions that are designed to keep us safe, and to probably to motivate us to improve our lives. But unless your life is really threatened, so let's say you're on a safari and you're out in Africa and you run into a lion, your life is probably threatened. So you better run real fast because your life is threatened. So unless you're in a situation like that, or you're jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, which I've never wanted to do, but people love to jump out of airplanes. But let's say, your chute's malfunctioning and now your reserve chute's malfunctioning. I think bad things are about to happen. So I'm sure fear is going to be raging. So unless you're in a situation like that, most of our anger, anxiety, fear really just are signals that we're being threatened, not our life, but we're threatened, and something needs to change. And so how do we deal with these negative emotions? We obviously do need to deal with them. And there are a couple of ways to not deal with them. You certainly don't want to ignore it. And you don't also want to have just unchecked optimism, because that leads to unrealistic optimism, which leads to unrealistic expectations and even dangerous risks that can lead to loss of life and money. Um, anyway, there's a very interesting article that I pulled by Elizabeth Scott, written by Elizabeth Scott, and it was reviewed by a psychiatrist, a physician, Stephen Gans, who's at Mass General, probably at Harvard. And in there, they talk about how there's new research coming out on how to deal with negative emotions. And they mention a person by the name of Ceri Sims, Ceri Sims, Sims. And this person came up with an acronym called Tears of Hope. So TEARS of Hope, HOPE, where each of the first letters of Tears and Hope represent a therapeutic way to deal with negative emotions. And it's way too involved and too complex for this. But if you want the link to that or the reference to that, send me a comment or send me a message. I'll be happy to send that to you. I'd like to just kind of keep it a little bit more basic and give you 3 additional kinds of techniques to deal with negative emotions, and then also give you the one that Ray Higdon came up with. And I first heard this a couple months ago when I first read his book the first time, and now I'm hearing it again. And it's we all deal with these negative emotions. So according to Ray Higdon, he recommends that when you have a negative emotion, he wants you to do a couple of things. So if you're sitting like this, he wants you to straighten up and smile. And if you're in your car, you just straighten up and smile. So if someone, road rage, pulls in front of you or is tailgating you, just really ticking you off, just smile. And then in your head, obviously you're not going to be able to write in the car. You shouldn't be doing that. In your head, just start going through a list of about 10, 15, 20 things that you're grateful for. I'm grateful that my car hasn't run out of gas. I'm glad that I don't have a flat tire. I'm glad that I know how to drive. I'm glad that I have a license that hasn't expired. I'm glad that I have air to breathe. I'm glad that I have a glass of water in my car, and on and on and on. Just be grateful. Take your mind off of whatever you can't change. And we're certainly living in an era now where we have lots of fear. Open up the paper and the news and your feed on social media. I mean, it's just one thing after another. The vaccine, this and that, the pandemic, this and that, the economy, this and that, and the unemployment rate, this and that. I mean, it's just on and on and on of just negative news. And that makes people fearful. And so my advice to you is try to tune that out. Don't be misinformed or uninformed, but don't dwell on it. Move on and start maybe employing some techniques like the one I just suggested. Be grateful. And then with that will probably come more joy and pride and contentment. Anyway, I've got 3 additional exercises that you can use to deal with negative emotions. One is called the best possible self exercise. And literally, it's in your head. You envision your best possible self. Just do it and come up with your list of gratitude. As far as gratitude is concerned, number 2 is, instead of maybe writing a list or typing it into your notes section or reciting it, in your mind, maybe you need to write a letter to somebody that you really felt special about, a teacher or someone that really set you straight, got you on the right career path. Send them a letter of gratitude. Man, it would really make their day, and it would make your day too. Or visit that person. How about that? And the third thing of the 3 things to deal with negative emotions is to really take a personal day off. Take a mental health day, a day vacation, or a staycation filled with positive experiences. Now, you may want to just not just veg in front of Netflix and eat a bunch of chocolate candies, although that certainly would be a wonderful way to spend the afternoon. But it may just be tuning out everything and doing what you love. For me, that would be just strumming my guitar and taking a little nap and just a little R&R. So I hope that you found this helpful. We do have negative emotions. We would love to live in a world of just positive emotions and positive news, but that just isn't so. We have to learn how to deal with it. So drop me a message, drop me a comment if you want the list of techniques to deal with negative emotions called Tears of Hope. And on that note, I wish you a wonderful remaining Sunday. God bless, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.